Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex channel episode, and it is early in the day here in the UK. It is Saturday the 28th of June 2020. Hello and welcome back to the channel, and I have a little bit of a development with the ongoing ARCHEWELL legal issues. So we know that Harry and Meghan are actually going through the trades and the patents, but there has also been a contest kind of going on. There has been a challenge to using the name of ARCHEWELL. So if I just kind of go through the story and then we'll update you on all of the new details that have come to light. So as we know, ARCHEWELL is Harry and Meghan's non-profit or not-for-profit organisation, foundation, whatever you want to call it. It is a non-profit, and they obviously were forced into revealing the name before they had actually set up all of the trades and patents, because the press found out about it and forced their hand into revealing the name before they were ready to do so. So good news has come from the American courts. A legal challenge launched by a Scott Canto of who is a New York healthcare boss, wanted to call his non-profit or foundation, whatever he wanted to do, he wanted to call his Archie Cares, and he actually filed his application prior to the Sussexes, so before the Sussexes put in their request for ARCHEWELL. So there was a legal challenge because of the similarities. Although it is a completely different word, Archie Cares, ARCHEWELL, it has similarities, and the courts thought that maybe they were too similar in name. So apparently paperwork requests were filed to Mr. Canto, of which he did not reply. So yeah, he failed to respond to a court request for extra information in time, whatever that means. But whatever the information was that they requested, he did not fulfill or supply. Therefore, his application has been dropped, which has allowed the Sussexes to go through. So ARCHEWELL is now definitely the name that they are able to use without any challenges to the use of that name. Basically, if this hadn't gone well, if Mr. Canto had supplied the information in time, whatever information it was that they requested, it could have forced Harry and Meghan to rebrand again, because we know originally they were going to potentially go with Sussex Royal. That was what the website was set up as, and the application was put in for trademarks and patents. That was obviously, proven to be not usable within the sphere of using the word royal. Then they rebranded something which they had considered for a long time anyway. They had always considered using ARCHEWELL in some capacity. Obviously an honour to their son Archie. And also the well. I think well has lots of really positive connotations as well. You could think of a physical well, the well that gives life. For so many people rely on wells. And also well as in well-being, as in are you well? So I think ARCHEWELL is a really good name that the Sussexes came up with, and it's something that they would have always, I think, used in some capacity anyway. But now those legal challenges are out of the way. Mr. Canto's request or opposition to using that name has been cut short because of his own failure to reply to the information. So there we have a little bit of happy news. Yes, good morning to wherever you are. I'm also open to questions as well today. So do put some questions to me, and I will try and answer as many as I possibly can whilst I'm here. Heather, thank you, and thank you for being a channel member as well. As I can see, Tisha is in the room as well. Massa says, I love your kind heart. Thank you for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. Meghan, may God bless you. Thank you again so much. Yeah, so that's kind of all the updates I have this morning, unless you have anything really pressing that you would like to discuss. Hello to everyone just joining. We have 43 live in the chat room. Yeah, so I'm open to questions. and comments. Is there anything that you would really, really like to know? I'll stay on for at least 10 minutes. I can see people furiously typing. Celine says, do all of their charities will be under one umbrella? That we do not know yet. We do not know entirely what ARCHEWELL is going to encompass. We know that with the trademarks that have been applied for, it covers all kinds of things, educational resources, t-shirts, you know, from one extreme all the way down to the other. But we know that that does not mean that that is what they intend to do with ARCHEWELL. It doesn't mean they're going to sell t-shirts. It doesn't mean they're going to launch a magazine. It means they could if they wanted to, but the primary reason for trademarking things is just to protect that brand so that other people can't do those things. In terms of charities, I would imagine if you've got a really big non-profit, that many of the charities and organisations of which they are patron or have associations with may come under ARCHEWELL, but that's not a definite. We do not know, you know, individual charity structures or aims or ethos. It may not be compatible with being under an umbrella, but kind of an umbrella charity non-profit can also support charities outside of its own sphere, if you like. So it depends on the individual charity that they are being associated with. Or I would imagine what's most likely is that any charities or associations that they come up with themselves will most definitely probably be under ARCHEWELL. Karen says, do you think the Sussexes will have another account for announcements for fans? We spoke about this a while ago, and I asked the question, can you change the name of your Instagram account, for example? And it turns out, I think people have said, yes, you can. So we know that Harry and Meghan have Sussex Royal on Instagram. We know they can't use the Royal in Sussex Royal going forward. So potentially, there is no reason, I suppose, technically, as to why they couldn't just change the name of their already existing Instagram account and just pick up from there. They could also potentially remove all of the photos and everything that's already on there that they did whilst being a member of the working royal family. So they could potentially strip the account of all the things, because I know that from having an Instagram account you can kind of archive things, so they could archive all of their posts that they have made up to that date and almost start again whilst retaining all of those Instagram followers. Now, I suppose what the critics would say is, well, you gained those followers whilst you were a working member of the royal family. However, I think that is quite a tenuous claim, and one that would be seen, I think, as rather petty. However, they could just start up a brand new one. They could just leave Sussex Royal as a dormant Instagram account, and they could, going forward, create a new one, maybe with the name of ARCHEWELL. I mean, I am sure that any new social medias that they create would get the followers almost immediately back again. I mean, you know, I would subscribe, you would subscribe, or follow. So I think they could do either. But to, you know, avoid criticism entirely, they could just start a brand new one. I mean, they could also maybe start Facebook or Twitter, but I think they seem to like, most definitely, Instagram. Also, their website, they've already said that they intend their website, their web presence, to be the kind of the fountain of their truth, if you like. So anything official being put out, I think, would be on the website, and we don't know how that website is going to rebrand and change. Again, that could be changed to ARCHEWELL as well. Shibli Mifos, I've just answered the question about the website. They did actually say on the website that there would be changes. So yes, I think they most definitely will. When? I do not know. Avon says, I'm looking forward to learning about the charities they support. I mean, obviously there will be lots of ones that we already know about, but there will be new ones, and there will be new ones that they have thought up themselves, or ones that they have come into contact with and want to be associated with. So yes, there will be lots of new ones. Dahlia Ford says, did you see the Facebook Stop Hate Profit? Yes, I spoke about that yesterday. She said, I'd like to see it extend to YouTube. Yeah, I spoke about this yesterday when the news had broke that's what people thought that Harry and Meghan were going to support. And then it turned out about an hour later that it was true. So yes, Harry and Meghan are most definitely in support of the Stop for Hate, which is trying to encourage advertisers not to advertise on Facebook until they get their act together when it comes to people's posts and news articles and sharing things that could be homosexual, homophobic, bigoted, racist, xenophobic, all the different things that could offend people. And yes, Harry and Meghan have got behind that. In terms of YouTube, I spoke about this before. YouTube base a lot of their community guidelines on freedom of speech, and as long as you don't break their community guidelines, your channel is allowed to stay. And a lot of people are arguing now that if you put out lies, that should be one of the community guidelines that YouTube should adopt. And I have to say, I agree. I'm not a big fan of all these channels that are talking about the royals, various royals, mostly Harry and Meghan in particular, and they are just putting out lies. I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but it's when you put your opinion out there as fact that it causes the problems, because sadly some people go on there and they choose to believe it. I mean, I try my very, very best not to do that. If I don't know something, I will say I don't know, or if something is a little bit vague or woolly, I will say, we need to look at this in a bit more detail, we need more information, this is true as of now, things could change. If things do change, I will do updates on things. So I try and be as factual as I possibly can, without being on the phone to Harry and Meghan and actually asking them what's going on themselves, which I would love to do, by the way. So Harry and Meghan, if you're watching, pick up the phone, just so we can set records straight. But no, certain YouTube channels are a problem, they are an issue, and yes, I would welcome YouTube readdressing their community guidelines to update lies, and anything that can be proven as a mistruth or a lie should be removed. I totally agree with that. Karen M says, with the website, it probably would be safer so the trolls couldn't comment and we could enjoy their process. Yeah, they could turn comments off on Instagram, so which they did towards the end of their Sussex Royal Instagram presence with the current account. I'm just reading up to see if there's any other... Avon says, maybe they will consider a YouTube channel with the comments disabled. Maybe. I mean, there's no reason why Harry and Meghan couldn't start their own YouTube channel. It would be a direct video way of getting their messages out there. So, yeah, they most definitely could. I see no reason why not. Zlee says, if somebody uses their patent name, what do you think will happen to these people's sites? Well, obviously, if they use ARCHEWELL, if someone uses ARCHEWELL as a website, I would imagine Harry and Meghan already would have protected the domain names. I've protected my own domain names with Royal Reviewer. I don't use them, but I've got the .com, I've got the .uk, I've got the .co.uk, I've got the .org, I've got the .shop. I protected mine. I don't use them, but I've got them, so no one else can set up websites in Royal Reviewer name, for example. So I'd imagine they protected their websites. But in terms of people using handles on Instagram, that kind of thing, they could put legal challenges to people, but it kind of wouldn't be worth it unless it's something that they really, really need it for. So, for example, if someone's already got ARCHEWELL on Instagram, I imagine they could probably object to it, seeing as they would have that trademark and everything on it. I don't know how far they get with it, but I mean, don't forget there was the man that had Sussex Royal on Twitter, wasn't it? Yeah, he had the Twitter handle. I mean, I don't know whatever became of that, but I think he still has that handle, which he'd had for 10, 15 years or something of that nature. So yeah, they could launch challenges if people did try to use them, or if they even found out about it in the first place. But yeah, they'd have to go through a legal process to get people to take it down. Or they could ask nicely. Right, I'm just going down. Maureen says yes, it is Sunday. Do you know what? I'm getting my days completely mixed up. Yesterday was Saturday, today is Sunday. My days get completely... Do you know what? Every day rolls into one. During lockdown, every day may as well be a Monday, or it may as well be a Tuesday. Does it actually matter what day it is? They're all the same. Oh, Heather, hello from Barbados. Oh, I wish I was in Barbados right now. I would do anything to be walking along a beach in a caftan. Barefoot in a caftan. I would. I'd do anything, I really would. I'm so depressed about not going on my holiday this year. I haven't been abroad on an aeroplane for 15 years. And I booked a holiday, and it was to a gorgeous place, St. Lucia, of all places, and now I can't go. Yeah, I'm going next year. But yeah, I would do anything to be walking barefoot in a caftan on a beach. Karen says, I read from Tattler why Harry and... Was it Tattler, I think you're saying? Why Harry and Meghan can still use their royal monogram. Well, it's personal, so it's personally attached to them. Their monogram is theirs to use. And let's not forget, also, technically speaking, they are still HRH. Harry is still a prince of the United Kingdom. They are still their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It is just that they cannot use the HRH, will be seen to be using the royal style and title whilst they are being commercially independent. But they can use the monogram because that's not actually attached to anything in particular royal. You don't just get a monogram when you become royal. I mean, anyone, you could actually pay money and you could get your own monogram if you can trace your history far back enough. So yeah, if you've got enough money, I mean, if I've got enough money, I could go to the place where they make them and they could research my history to someone who had a crest, for example. It's all about heraldry. And yeah, I could probably buy one, but it costs about £5,000 to £10,000 to get all the research done. So yeah, they can still use the monogram. Maureen says, I don't believe it's not for profit. Time will tell. I mean, again, we do not know the exact structure. It's been billed obviously as a non-profit, and I do know there is a difference between not-for-profit and non-profit. I did look it up, but I've kind of it escapes me. I cannot recall what it was, but I did look it up. There is minor differences between not-for-profit and non-profit. There are also legal minimal amounts that you have to give to charity if you are a non-profit or a not-for-profit. I think it's about 5%. So technically speaking, and I forget which one it is, the non-profit or the not-for-profit, you only legally have to give 5% of those profits to charity. The rest of it can go to whoever owns or organises the charity or foundation or non-profit or not-for-profit. So there are legal things, but there is no suggestion out there that Harry and Meghan intend to do that. As I said in a previous chat, I'm sure, if there were any indiscretions in terms of of a non-profit, that would be picked apart by the media. So I probably would say that Harry and Meghan will probably just cover costs when it comes to ARCHEWELL. So they'll cover the costs of the operation, and then any residual profits will be likely donated to the charities and organisations of which they support. So that's probably what will happen. Of course, we do not know. Truth will always out in time, but there are legal minimals. That is a fact. Lee says, am I sleeping at weird times in lockdown? I've had some sleepless nights. I go to bed normal time, I try and get up normal time, but I have had about 3 sleepless nights where I've had an overactive mind and I just can't get to sleep. Or I wake up and then I can't get back to sleep. Reverend Darlene says good morning, and everyone else. Cross off each day on my calendar so I know what day it is. Me too, barefoot on the beach. Well, I've got about 400 and something days to wait until I go. Hello in Australia to Maria. It's 7:30 where you are. Karen says non-profits can have a separate legal entity. Not-for-profits cannot have a separate legal entity. Yes, I did research it at one point, and I totally forgot all what the ins and outs of it are. Maybe I will have to look it up again, and then I could do a video on exactly what the differences are. But I do believe Harry and Meghan's ARCHEWELL was built as a non-profit, I think, if I remember correctly. Right, did I have any other really pertinent questions? I'm just trying. Oh, it would help if I had it on live chat, not top chat. That would help. Okay, I'm just scrolling down. Right. Avon says, I've tried to stay on my work sleep routine. It's a challenge. It is indeed. It's best to try and keep to any routine that you would normally do. Right, I'm going to go now. I think I've answered the main title of this video. Also, I've done lots and lots of follow-up questions, lots of viewer questions. I haven't forgotten, I did put out a community post asking for questions. It's still there, so there's still time if you want to add your comments or questions for me to do a video reading out and answering. I'm still going to do that. I've just been really busy with other news. So I will still do that in an upcoming video. Maria says, am I having trouble with my YouTube channels? Advertisers in general are lower on YouTube, which means that less adverts are going out on videos, which again, affects a YouTuber's way of earning money from what they do. So my channel has been no different to anyone else's with regards to that. So yes, there have been difficult. Also, notifications. I do believe that notifications, at least on one of my channels, are not going out to people. People are saying I'm not having notifications. I have no idea why that is. So if you're not getting notifications, try unsubscribing and then resubscribing and then hitting the bell again and just see if that works. Right, I'm going to go now. Oh, also, thank you so much for everyone who has supported by being a channel member. It really does help in these difficult times, as you just so rightly said or commented on. So, and also thank you for being a patron on Patreon as well, if you are. So I'm going to go now. Oh, Sonia, have a happy birthday. Mwah. I'm going to go now. If you've enjoyed this video and this quick catch up and question and answer session, give it a big old thumbs up. But don't forget to leave a comment, share on social media, and also hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, subscribe to the channel. We have hit 5,500 subscribers. So hit that subscribe. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.